Hey, what's going on? I'm almost home, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the cliff notes to the webinar that I put on. I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, you know, come to the webinar and then for 3 days I'm giving out replays. I don't want to be that guy. You know, if I want to make the trainings that I do sacred, like there's some kind of cow or something. You know what I mean? I want to make the trainings that I do important enough to where people actually show up live on there and get the advantage and interact and everything else. I think the replay, sending it out, it's just something that everybody does. I'm going to be a little bit different. So I'm almost home, and when I get home, I'm going to give you the cliff notes. Well, ain't that a fancy vehicle there? I'm going to give you the cliff notes on what I taught on the webinar, how you can implement it, so you'll be able to, even though you don't get all the details like you do if you hit the live webinars, I'm going to give you the quick cliff notes version so that you've at least got enough to get started and take some action, see results. Plus, you can find out what I was selling. I think that's pretty damn important too. You're like, well, what was the whole deal? You can't have a webinar without selling something. I mean, come on, dude. That's like going to a timeshare and expecting to really spend the night there without hearing a sales pitch. Come on, man. That's not how the shit works here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go inside. I'm going to get you fixed up with the whiteboard. I'm going to show you, I'm going to give you this whole demonstration to where you can get the cliff notes from the training that we did, and you can get to work doing what you learn. All right, so let's get into the cliff notes. The first thing that I talked about was that most salespeople will spend their time prospecting, making cold calls, making door knocks, going to networking events and all this other stuff that takes a massive amount of time, and those things aren't closing. Those things aren't where we get paid from. Those are the things that put deals into our pipeline. They make new connections for us, but they're not what we get paid on, so it's not really best use of our time. See, I fucking hate door knocking, cold calls. I don't want to talk to people that do not want to talk to me. I don't want to go bother people in the middle of them doing stuff because I don't like that done to me. And so what I've done is I've positioned myself as a salesperson to be able to sell where the people are. And that was the main thing that we talked about last night. You don't have to make cold calls, right? Cold calls, they say 86% of all phone calls go unanswered. You're only going to have a 14% success rate. It may take you 300 or 400 dials in order to sell 2 or 3 people, maybe to talk to 10 people that are even interested in your product. What a waste of time. Door knocking, while it might be good exercise, it's not a good idea in Texas, right? Like, get it off my property, boy, right? That's just not a good idea. And so, it's a waste of time. And you can only door knock during certain time periods, if it's legal at all. In the city of Plano here where I live, it's not legal at all. And in my HOA, they will call the police on you if they see you knocking on doors, right? So it's a risky, sketchy profession anyway. And who buys from strangers with all the, doom and gloom news and all that other stuff? Like, nobody's buying from strangers. I'm not saying that it's impossible to make money doing cold calls and door knocking. I'm just saying it's not the best way to do business in the modern marketplace, okay? And so if we can both agree on that, then the obvious other thing is that people know to do is go to networking events. And they go to a networking event and they go, oh, hey, I'm just shaking hands with networking people and trying to make friends. And here's what happens. You waste 30 minutes driving there. Then you get there and you spend $20 or $30 on a few drinks. Maybe you buy somebody there that's a drink. And then you talk to them for a couple hours. You get no business whatsoever from there. And you turn around and you drive 30 minutes back home. You've wasted 2 or 3 hours of your time for nothing. Because here's the thing. Nobody's ever gone to a networking meeting going, I've gotten all these leads. I just want to give them to complete strangers to help them. Nobody's ever done that. Nobody walks to a networking event and goes, I have an abundance of money, I have an abundance of fucking everything, and I'm just going to give it out to people that I never met before because I just want them to think I'm fucking cool. That's not how it works. Instead, what happens is people go to networking events and they're like, dude, I have $0 fucking dollars, man. I need somebody to pay me. I need somebody here to have a deal. I've got to be able to connect and work. It's a bunch of starving artists gathered together to possibly prey off each other. But here's what really happens. You're mostly full of shit. And so they're mostly full of shit, and I'm filling you full of shit over here, and puppet number 2 is filling you full of shit over here, and at the end of the night, you just wasted 3 hours of your time and $20 or $30, maybe even more, depending on how much full of shit this person convinced you that they were throughout the course, right? So it's just a bad idea. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying it's not the most efficient use of your time. But what is an efficient use of your time is creating a lead trap, which I have drawn out here in my fancy, if you can even read my handwriting, right? I should have been a doctor, man. If I was a doctor, I would write myself a prescription for some good pills, some good steroids, right? I'd be lean and mean because I get the good pharmaceutical shit if that was the case, right? And definitely some medical cannabis. But back to my story, there's these things called lead traps. And a lead trap is a series of traps. You just think of these as like mouse traps that cause your prospect to go through and make different decisions along the way. So instead of you having to cold call and getting people to make decisions and finding out if they're ready and where they're at, marking all that stuff, you can deploy technology, super cheap technology, to do that. But before I get into this, let me think about what you do as a salesperson. We make calls we don't want to make. We talk to people we don't want to talk to. We try to change people's mind. We have to follow up with people. We have to email them, text them. Some of you send videos. Some of you send, there's like so much that we have to do. We have to go to meetings. We have to go network with people. We have to put on events. We have to go to the Chamber of Commerce. It's just an unlimited amount of shit that we do that we don't get paid to do. And so instead of doing all that stuff, here's what I challenge you to do right now is to make a list of all the shit that you do that does not make you money that you wish you didn't do. And then here's the thing. Once you have that list of things that you don't want to do, that you know that aren't making you money, that you still consistently do, outsource it to either technology or a virtual assistant. You have no excuses. Even if you're making $2,000 or $3,000 a month, you can pay somebody $100 a week in Vietnam that will be more than happy to do probably a better job than you, honestly, because their educational system's better than ours. But they'll do a good job for you. They'll put all your stuff in line, and they'll do the tasks that you don't want to do for a fraction of what it costs you, which allows you to be more productive. And that's exactly what a lead trap is an example of you can deploy it out to a virtual assistant, or you can deploy it out to technology. I use technology for my sales these days because the only time that I want to actually be speaking with a prospect and spending my time dealing with a prospect is if I'm fairly sure that they're ready to make a committed decision. If not, then I need to let my technology, I need to let my outsourcing handle that. We call that a lead trap. It's also referred to as a funnel, but I think lead trap just sounds a hell of a lot cooler. Anyway, for us, we're the cool kids anyways, we got to have our own little language and stuff. So step one, let me give you an example. So step one of the lead trap here is, let's just say I make a video, or you make a video about your business. We'll just use you as an example. So this represents a web page, and then this would be a video, right? I should have just drawn the little triangle thing in it, but whatever. So in the video, you're informing your marketplace. You're telling them a little bit about what it is that you sell, why it will solve their problem, and then you're telling them to click the link that is below the video. This is a prime example. You're probably watching this video, and somewhere around it, there's a link underneath it that says sign up for Break Free Academy Entourage. Isn't that cool? What a coincidence. Anyway, some people will watch the video, just like some of you will watch this video, and that'll be the end of it. And some people will watch the video and they will actually click the link below. And it doesn't matter whether you're selling mortgages and you're talking about an open house on a home, or whether you're selling title work or credit repair, solar, we've used it across the board. This formula works, okay? This lead trap formula works. We have templates and everything else set up for you. So if you're scared of technology, don't worry, you can do all this in under like 5 minutes. So you've got a video and a link. Well, what happens when they click the link is it redirects them to another page. So if in the video I say click the button below and sign up for XYZ program, then when they click the button below, the reward that they seek, which is the ability to sign up for the program, should be the next page. Now, maybe you're not selling a program like I am. Maybe in your video, you're like, here's 10 ways to avoid going into foreclosure, and you're targeting people that are potential places for you to buy real estate from them, right? And you're like, here's 10 ways to go into foreclosure. All you got to do is click the link below and I'll send the PDF report right to your email. So the reward is when they would pop to the next page, the reward would be, hey, make sure you check your email because I've sent you the PDF report that I promised. If you've gone to my elevatortothetop.com funnel, then you can see you can see that working perfectly. There's a video that says get a free book, pay a few dollars for some stamps. They pay a few dollars for some stamps. It says thank you for ordering the book. I'll send you the free book. It's on the way, by the way, and it gives them some more instructions. And then there's an offer to my Break Free Academy Entourage program. You can go over there. You'll only see that if you buy the book. So you got to spend the money for stamps, but you can go through that process at elevatortothetop.com. And guess what? I've sold over 2,000, or I've given away basically over 2,000 books over there, which would, I mean, you think about that's not 2,000 calls I had to make or anything else. That's something that's working, automatically trapping those leads, and it's actually trapped over 5,000 leads so far for us. So the reward, after they do the reward, whatever, check your email or whatever, the step 3 could be an upsell. In my case, it's, hey, here's a video for a free book. Thank you for filling out the form for a free book. By the way, now that you've got this free book, if you'd like to invest in the Break Free Academy Entourage, here's some details about it. And whether they say yes or no, it sends them back to where they started. And what we're trying to do is if they started right here on Facebook, we want them to end up on Facebook. We don't want to keep taking them away. If they started on LinkedIn and that's where you're running your ad, or they started on Google, that's where you're running their ad, that's where you want to drop them off at. Especially for those of you using Facebook for your lead, Facebook ads for your lead trap. You want it to be like, we removed you, here's what we gave you, here's the cool extra bonus, and then by the way, we'll put you right back in Facebook where you started off. This way, the prospect feels like they were supposed to go through that process, because here they were on Facebook, they put some information in, they got away from it, and then they're scrolling again, they're right back where they started. They feel like it was a comfortable process. It didn't dump them off in some kind of strange land. We've got all the details and stuff in the trainings in Break Free Academy Entourage. Like I said, this is the Cliff Notes. But here's the thing about the lead traps. It's really easy. We've developed software called Lead Traps for Break Free Academy Entourage and Break Free Academy members only. That's the only way you can have access to our software. It'll be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, actually. And here's the thing about this. This is the easy part. You can put together a complete funnel with a bunch of autoresponder emails that go out automatically to where when somebody hits the link and they opt in, you don't have to drop what you're doing and call them. An email automatically goes out, a slide dial automatically goes out, a broadcast automatically goes out to their voicemail. All that stuff can be automated. The shit that you waste your time doing trying to track down leads can all be automated for a few dollars a month. It's pretty amazing, the technology and the times we live in. What most people struggle with, which brings us to the second half, and since it's red, I shall grab my blue marker, is the message and the audience. So we've got the lead trap over here figured out. That's all this over here. The thing is, with the message and the audience, that's the biggest thing that people struggle with. The most important part of the equation is the message, but the message does you no good without the proper audience. And so how do you figure out who your audience is? There's several different keyword search tools you can use. There's analyzers on Facebook that are absolutely free that you can use. You can go to like sumome.com and you can use their analyzers and stuff like that. But here's the thing, if you'll just put yourself in your prospect shoes, you'll probably figure it out. Who is it that's most likely to buy from you? Who benefits from your product? What struggles do they face? What places do they hang out? What kind of food do they eat? What kind of clothes do they wear? Where do they shop? What kind of money do they make? Are they likely to have credit cards? Are they likely to be homeowners? Are they likely to move? You can target all that stuff inside of Facebook, but the key is it does you no good. And you can target them in Google and LinkedIn and everywhere else too, but it does you no good unless you know exactly what if you know every detail about your prospect, then you can pick out every detail. Right now, there's over 2.5 million people that fit my description that I'm looking for. When I started out, I had to start it a lot smaller. I've exhausted that audience at this point. But when I started out, I picked out 4,000 people, and I just stayed on top of those 4,000 people on Facebook for like $10 a day. I was in front of them all day long because it was such a small niche. So there's no excuse, but you have to know who you were going after. When I started, I was going after loan officers in the United States that were over the age of 28 that made at least 6 figures a year, were trying to get to $25,000 a month or more in income, but were already making at least $100,000, and they had been in the business for over 5 years. I was very specific. There was a very small list of those people, but I put a message in front of them, which is the next part, that resonated with them, and it said, if you're making more than $2 million a month and you're trying to get to in production and you're trying to get to the $5 or $10 million a month production level, I can help you. I have helped several just like you go from 2 to 10. All you have to do is follow my prospecting methods and be willing to put in the work. If that's you and you're ready to go to that level, then simply click the link and fill out the form below. When I ran that ad, it generated me hundreds of leads within 2 days. And the reason why is because I had the audience right. It was loan officers who were making over 6 figures a year, trying to figure out how to make multiple 6 figures a year, and that had been in the business for a period of time, which meant at this time when I ran this ad in 2011, it meant that they had surpassed the bust of 2008. So I had the right audience. And the next thing is I put the right message in front of them. The message wasn't, if you want to do more loans, right? The message was, if you're already doing $2 million a month and you're trying to get to that $5 or $10 million a month mark, you just can't make it. I know how to get there. For somebody that's making 20 grand a month that's trying to figure out how to make 50, that resonates with them 100%. So the message in the audience is crucial. And then the next thing, all they had to do is click the link and go through the lead trap process. So that is the whole, this is the modern way of selling. There's no need to door knock anymore. And the gas money you spend going back and forth to networking meetings, and the money you spend buying somebody a Starbucks so you can borrow their free Wi-Fi, you can run a $5 a day ad on Facebook and it will yield you 2 or 3 leads. I've had clients just the other day posted up, said they spent $40, that's $40, they generated 11 leads and 2 sales. How many times could you duplicate that process in your business on a daily basis? And how much money would it mean for you if for every $40 you spent, you could generate 2 sales? Now, I'm not saying that that's possible for you, but it was possible for somebody, and we have a long track record and a whole bunch of testimonials to prove that it's worked in a lot of people, for a lot of people in a lot of different industries, which brings me to the close here. Okay, here's the thing. I put the training together and I've done the Cliff Notes here for you because I want you to join me in the Break Free Academy entourage. Now listen, don't judge. It's not just some mastermind or some networking group or anything like that. It's really, the truth is, it's a fancy newsletter. I've hidden all the hype around a fancy newsletter, but inside this newsletter, it's chock full of information. This is our first one. It goes out next week, and for the very first time, this is January's Break Free Academy Monthly. This is newsletter. You can be featured in here. It's going to have a roster of all of our members as we move forward. There's tons of information. These are stories and practical things and advertisements and stuff that I'm using right now in my business that I give up to date on a monthly basis. Also, for your first month, we're going to send you the Break Free Academy Entourage workbook. We've got our creed in here. We've got blank pages for you to design your funnels, your lead traps. We also have things like spaces for you design your perfect customer, catch everything else. But this is a year-long workbook that you get for joining the Break Free Academy entourage as well. We have already 180 something members. Like as of right now while I'm recording this, we have over 180 members, and we're growing by 5 to 6 members every single day. So, and then it's only going to be a matter of time before everybody reads this first copy because nobody's seen it yet. Everybody reads this first copy, everybody's going to fall in love with it. They're never going to leave us. They're going to send us referrals. It's going to be the awesomest thing ever. But here's also, you get access to the Facebook group. But I also have a program that used to retail for $2,000. It's called Break Free Academy Digital. As long as you're a member of the Break Free Academy entourage, you have access to everything that's in Break Free Academy Digital. If you stop paying, obviously we revoke your membership, but why would you want to stop paying? For $297 a month, you have access to Break Free Academy Digital. You get a newsletter, specialized newsletter sent. You get a workbook your first month. Your second month, we do t-shirts. We send out, maybe it's not your second month, maybe it's a couple months into it, you get t-shirts, but every month we send out a gift. You'll get things like copies of my book. Some of them will secretly be autographed and everything else. So we've really planned this where you have access to the Break Free Academy Digital. You get discounts on coming to the Break Free Academy live event. You get the monthly prize, whether it be a workbook or whether it be an actual hardcore closer book or whether it be a t-shirt or a hoodie or a necklace. We've got all sorts of cool stuff lined up for you. And on top of that, I'm willing to give you what's known as my Savage Bundle, which is a $10,000 bundle of different services and products and everything else. It's all bundled together. It's Motivational Mondays from our tribe and a bunch of other stuff that I don't care to go through and list, but it's everything that you could possibly need, right? Within the next 24 hours, you could go all in. You could have a funnel up and running. You could have your lead trap growing. You could have an advertisement moving on Facebook, and you could be spending $40 and 11 leads could already be coming your way if you take action. And all you have to do is go to breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. And you can sign up. It's $297. If you're watching this, it's $297 a month. It is a recurring price. And as long as you're a paying member, you get discounts. We have membership. We send you something in the mail alongside the newsletter every single month. So it's breakfreeacademy.com/entourage. But also understand this. that I'm going to give you, just for signing up for the Entourage program and giving us a chance, I'm going to give you lifetime access to everything in the Savage Bundle, which retails for $10,000. This is the first time that I've ever ran a program like this where it's $300. Most of my stuff costs $500, $2,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. I'm known as a high-end consultant, and I've opened this up because I want to help more people. At this point, it's not about being Louis Vuitton or whatever high-end thing. I just want to help as many people as possible. That's truly my heart. And so I've lowered the price and the threshold to get invited and started with all this stuff to where I can help more people out. And let's face it, for $297 a month, what is that? One sale to you? A half a sale? A fraction of a sale? There's no way that if you'll take the information that's in my program, and by the way, we update the information twice a month. We add more content to it. And so if you'll take the information and you'll implement it, there's no way that you'll fail. There's no way you can't come up with $300 more in sales every single month if you'll just do what you learn, because I know this: knowledge plus action equals success. So join us at breakfreeacademy.com/entourage and let me help you make this year the best year of your life.
I was at a point where I basically put all my eggs in one basket, and I decided that I was just going to just jump right into Break Free Academy, and I was kind of skeptical at first, but whenever I started like building the funnels and getting results, and I was getting like 8 to 14 leads a day, I pretty much knew right then and there what I needed.
I have a few friends in the sales industry, but none of them are attacking the internet marketing or the social media like I am. And because of Break Free Academy, I find like-minded people who have the same kind of attitude, same kind of approach, same kind of goals. And that makes it easy for me.
Well, I've consistently did coaching for the last 12 years, but with this one, it's actually different. I can actually benefit financially. The things that we implement and the things that we're taught really make a difference, and you can get immediate results from a monetary perspective. It's awesome.
Everybody kind of knows what the basics that need to be done every day, but the implementation and then being able to scale my business and things like that, I wouldn't have been able to get that, anywhere else.